Happy Friday, everybody. We are back together here with another video, and we're going to be talking about woke Disney because I guess, we got some not so shocking news here. Would you say?
Yeah.
Not really shocking, I guess. You're talking about Disney and persecution of conservatives, and compensating employees based on how much they virtue signal. You know what? Money talks, I guess. I mean, when it comes to Disney, they've been in a fight over there with Ron DeSantis, who is a conservative governor of Florida, because Disney seems to be perfectly okay with the sexualization of children, which conservatives in Florida have been trying to stop, and they've actually done a pretty good job over there. In Florida, Florida's not woke, but Disney is in Florida, and they're definitely woke, and therefore Disney has lost a whole bunch of money across the board. So Disney trying to persecute their conservative employees, not shocking at all to me. So let's look here. It says a Disney whistleblower claims the company required employees to keep diversity, equity, and inclusion virtue diaries that determine whether employees would receive promotions, raises, or even keep their job. The whistleblower also claimed that the company systematically persecuted conservative employees. Out here in Texas, diversity, equity, and inclusion is actually illegal because it's nothing more than racism. You shouldn't be hiring people based off of wokeness. That violates the constitutional rights of other people, Mm-hmm. It goes on here. The whistleblower supplied a number of documents to YouTuber and scooper WDW Pro, who said, quote, "It is now our understanding that at Disney since the summer of 2020, that's when the whole George Floyd thing was actually going on, many employees of the company have been required to maintain their various virtuous actions within diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that diary of their good deeds was part of maintaining their job security. But not only that, but in fact, it was also tied to their job compensation, if you can believe it." You want to know why they were actually doing all this?
Why?
Do you remember all the riots in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
And you had a bunch of mainly white liberals out there talking about white people were bad. They had a bunch of white guilt for slavery, which none of them were actually a part of. George Floyd actually dies and everything. So they wanted to show how virtuous they are. And they were out there doing a whole bunch of stuff that they truly did not believe in. And it led to a bunch of racism out there, mainly against white people. You cannot do that. And so it's not a surprise when you actually look at The Little Mermaid, race swapping. Disney has done a bunch of race swapping, LGBT stuff in their content, and the product has suffered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, The Little Mermaid is supposed to be white, but because of wokeness and DEI, they race swapped The Little Mermaid. Now they're doing the same thing with Snow Woke now.
I feel like, I do believe diversity is good.
Yeah, organic diversity.
Yeah, but what they are doing, they make it like diversity is a bad thing.
Yeah, like forced diversity would be like Reva in the Obi-Wan show. The character was terrible. Had nothing to do with her being black and a woman. The character was terrible, and people crushed that character because the character was not good. They tried to make it to where she would actually take over the Obi-Wan show because she wouldn't be able to make her own show on her own. People went to that show to see Obi-Wan and not Reva. And they actually ended up killing off not necessarily killing off the Grand Inquisitor, but, the Grand Inquisitor pretty much disappeared for the whole show because he he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So they can push Reva in right there. It was awful. That is your diversity, equity, inclusion in stories.
Yeah, that make it bad. But in reality, diversity is not a bad thing. It's just...
No, but they weaponize it.
Yes.
That's the problem. Look here. He goes on. He says, he added, quote, "We're talking about bonuses that you might not receive if you win afoul of Lantandra Newton, the prior chief diversity officer of Disney, if you went afoul of her belief system." I believe she got fired anyway. I mean, they wanted you to be actively woke on the job, and that determine your bonuses. This is supposed to be an entertainment company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wonder what they were actually writing in this diary, you know? Was it like, I don't know. See, I'm not woke, so I'm wondering what kind of wokeness would they actually be doing. If you're working, like for example, if you're working in accounting at Disney,
Mm-hmm.
what is your concern with diversity, equity, and inclusion? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
No, but what they are doing is pretty much like they said they want diversity, inclusion, but inclusion that's include conservative thinking and stuff.
You can't be a conservative openly at Disney.
Yeah, and if you talk about it, it's like you get fired or something like that. That's
Gina Carano, prime example. Fired from the Mandalorian. Why? Because she had conservative beliefs and she was vocal about it. They fired her.
I don't think that will work because, okay, like in a free society, I mean, everyone should be able to talk freely without, getting fired or something. If that is the case, go to communist country.
Well, that's the thing right there. When they're talking about diversity, they really don't care about diversity of thought. Diversity of thought is a no-no in woke companies. This is why you end up having Disney doing these things, because if they truly cared about true diversity, they would actually respect the different beliefs. But they want everybody to be like robots, think the same way, say the same thing. If you deviate one step away, you're done.
Yeah, that's not diversity.
No. That's authoritarian. That's the kind of stuff that happened in like communist China.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It says here, later in the video, WDW Pro shared more information that this alleged whistleblower provided him. Quote, "If you espouse, starting in the summer of 2020 and moving forward until today, if you espouse political beliefs in the workplace or outside the workplace or on social media and those political or socio-cultural beliefs do not align with very far left views, then you can expect to be sent to HR to have some serious conversations and discussions." That's pretty much what we just said.
Mm-hmm.
So if you went beyond not just filling out your Word doc where you had DEI requirements noted for your MBO document, let's say, but instead you were actually on social media saying that you supported some sort of conservative value, you were going to be brought into HR, he said. And in doing this, the Walt Disney Company seems to have eliminated the vast majority of their conservative employees and have turned the company into a monolithic kind of state where everyone there is either far to the left on the spectrum or they are a moderate or conservative in hiding. Yeah. One thing we know about conservatives in Hollywood, they tend to remain silent for the most part because when they speak up, they can't get work. James Woods, big-time star in the 90s. He can't get work. The guy that played Hercules on the TV show, conservative, can't get work. Dean Cain, can't get work. He played Superman on TV, Lois and Clark, can't get work. Why? Because he's a conservative.
Well, I think someone attacked, what's his name? The guy who played the Guardian of the Galaxy.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Oh man, they've been going after him because of his because he's a Christian. But Chris Pratt has become such a bit star now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to actually take him down. Of course, he's the star of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that TV show on Amazon was so good. You know, The Terminal List. He's the star of that too. Mm-hmm. He's really become a big time star. WDW Pro added, quote, the whistleblower says if they had known that working like Disney would be like, that it would have devastated them because they dreamed of working for Disney for so long. Once they received the job and they actually worked at Disney, that it was a nightmare and that they had never worked at any company like this that had them do these things and tied it to that pay. So your wokeness level determine your pay.
Actually, yes. And I feel sorry for those people who, I mean, I do have a dream job too, so I kind of know how they feel. You get the dream job that you want.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be a disaster, It's not a dream job where you can be open-minded and talk about what is wrong or, there's, and talk about different strategy for improvement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and working in the office, you're not supposed to bring politics in there anyway.
No.
You're not supposed to be doing that. I mean, all the companies I worked for when I was working a regular job, we never talked about politics at all. Never came up. I really don't know any of the political leanings of the people I work with. I really don't. I really didn't care. I wasn't thinking about it when I went to work. I was actually going to work to do my job. I wasn't there to virtue signal and think of how woke I can actually be to get a paycheck. That time, wokeness to paychecks. That is wrong. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. This is just wow right there, Guess we'll be back on Monday, right?
Yes.
Monday with another video for you guys. Until then, what do you got? You got one more thing?
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, I did talk about the Elon Musk creating the new AI about the nature of the universe, and the website. I'm sorry, I say it wrong, but it's x.ai. It's not XL. I'm
okay.
sorry about that, but
Yeah.
just want to clarify.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, guys, we'll be back on Monday with another video. Until then, be safe.
Goodbye.